Well, now it's March and the winter that never was draws to a close. Yes, this has been one of the warmest winters on record, and now I have a ton of salt I can't use. Knowing my luck, next winter we'll have 3 meters of snow and I still can't use the salt because I can't get out of the front door. As you can tell from the title, I have 3 things to talk about in this video, and I have to begin with a correction to something that I said on a very serious matter. In my last video I said that the Hanau shooter, the man who attacked 2 shisha bars and a cafe and killed 10 people before committing suicide, had his gun license issued by an official who was arrested as a member of a right-wing terrorist organization. It turns out that this information is false, and now I can't find any reference to this connection in any of the sources that I used. So either it was in one of my sources but was later corrected, or I misread something. Either way, I don't want to be responsible for spreading fake news. So I retract my statement that Tobias R's license was issued by Torsten W. That's not true. Sorry. Of course, that news has been eclipsed by the news of this new pandemic, the coronavirus. Except that it's not the coronavirus, it's a coronavirus. It's COVID-19. Now, I don't want to downplay the seriousness of this disease, but I do have a couple of medical professionals among my clients, and according to them, the current level of hysteria is way out of proportion. I don't have time to go into the details here, but their reaction to most of the really scary information coming out is, well, yeah, it's a virus. Ideally, this is what should happen. Testing kits should be developed and manufactured under strict quality control. People who are at risk should be tested, those infected, quarantined. Everybody else should catch their sneezes in their elbow, wash their hands thoroughly, and not bother with hand sanitizers and masks. But people are people and they're panicking. So what does this mean for life in Germany at the moment? In places where cases have been recorded, schools and kindergartens have sometimes been closed. All over Germany, some public events have been cancelled and others have not, and it is completely random. People who look vaguely Asian have reported that other people have been avoiding them, which, let's face it, is not just irrational, it's shameful. Panic buying has set in, so in some places you may find shortages of dried pasta, tinned food and toilet paper. On the other hand, my wife says that nobody seems to be buying things like rice and lentils, so we're not going hungry. And one of my friends posted a picture on Facebook of her local supermarket in Berlin with shelves empty except for Chinese vegetable stew. Honestly, people, what the I can't say what will happen next, but one idea that the government has is this. If you're on a train and one of the passengers is suspected of having the virus, which will probably mean if somebody sneezes, you'll have to fill out a form before you can get off the train again. So if the hysteria really does take hold, expect the entire rail network to grind to a halt. But let's end on a happier note. Some of you might remember that a few months ago we adopted a rescue cat called Lily, and you may be anxious to know how she's doing. She's doing fantastically well. There's no trace of the trauma that she came to us with, and she has lost a great deal of weight. She's fitter, healthier, more active and very affectionate. So I'll just repeat what I've said before. If you're thinking of adopting a cat or a dog, please consider going to an animal shelter and asking specifically about animals they're having difficulty finding homes for. It may be the best decision you've ever made. Irrational, but let's face it, where cases have been recorded, you may find shortages of dried pasta, what was the other thing? Dried pasta, tinned food, and the other thing, tins of Chinese vegetable stew.